Shalom. Call halal Yahweh by Shem Abishai by Hashem Kadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers, my fellow yokemen. To the confusion of face brothers joined unto our ranks. To the hopefully elect, the Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of GMS here in Chicago. And this is a video that was put up by the Florida Marquis, which I highly suggest that if you're not subscribed to his channel, that you do. I've been following him for, well, not quite a year, but maybe about 8 or 9 months or so. And he's former military. I'm not sure what his job was in the military, but he's highly in tuned and very well educated in politics. And a lot of things that he was talking about, I was teaching about and listening and watching. And some of the things that he said, he was predicting things months and months ahead of time, and then all of a sudden those things would be in the news. So that's what made me start paying attention to him. So if anyone's not subscribed to him, I highly suggest you do, because he brings out very pertinent information which concerning these end time prophecies. And through the Spirit, I do perceive that he is an Edomite. So, but nevertheless, he's demonstrating Psalms 64 and 8. So that their tongues are made to fall upon themselves. So he's completely ratting out his brethren and exposing Esau's wickedness. And this video is about basically Esau as a house divided. And all his lies are being brought forth and being met with truth head on like a collision. So without any further ado, let's let some of this video play, and then I'll bring some scriptures out and close it out.
If any of the people in my audience don't believe that we can make a difference, the events of yesterday should change your mind. A difference was made. The criminal elements in D.C. and the thugs that they have been colluding with in Colombia were dealt one of the most stunning defeats they've ever seen. It was a complete and total, utter collapse of their strategy. They had assured the world that thousands and upon thousands of soldiers from the Venezuelan military were going to defect. Biggest number I've seen is maybe 20, 25. There were supposed to be 250,000 volunteers, civilian volunteers, that were going to rise up and surround military bases and run Nicolas Maduro out of Miraflores Palace. And they were going to carry Juan Guaido on their shoulders into the palace and inaugurate him into a new era of peace and prosperity. Total and utter bullshit. And for those of you who stood with this channel, stood with Abby Martin, Jimmy Dore, all of the other channels I'm forgetting, that have put out the word and shared it all across social media, it echoed all the way to Miraflores Palace. They knew we were standing with them. They knew we were praying for them, and that not all of North America stands with Washington, D.C. In fact, the vast majority of the United States of America does not stand with Washington, D.C. And what happened yesterday in Venezuela is going to be a defining moment for that break. They represent no one but themselves. And now they only have themselves to look to. Now let me make it very clear. This is not a mission accomplished banner moment. They're coming back. They are going to come back twice as hard next time. But we can win. We just have to tell the truth. We have to continue to do it on a...
So let's stop it right there. He made it very clear that America is a house divided. All right? And do not get it twisted. Do not think for any moment. Jordan Maxwell said it best when Barack Obama took office. Jordan Maxwell said that this is a good old boy system, and if you think for 1 minute that these people are going to give up their system to someone else, then you're fooling yourselves. Roughly paraphrase. He may have used those exact words, but he was saying that basically what Jordan Maxwell was admitting, that Barack Obama was appointed to be president by this very same said system, which is an Edomite system. He served a purpose for them. They do not care and have not cared for any of the other races ever. They don't even care for the majority of their own. They only really care for the elite. And it gave the working class Edomite comfort in something called white superiority, which is being found to be very unuseful to them in these last days. And they're finding out that they're being duped. They were left out of the blessings, because he said that these Americans, there are people in America that didn't stand with Washington, D.C., but all these red-blooded Edomite Americans were all for the destruction and genocide of my people, the so-called Native Americans, and for the taking of the West Coast and those southwestern states from the tribe of Issachar, who were the so-called Mexicans. They had no problem with that, and they had no problem with the enslavement of the Southern Kingdom, the so-called Negroes, and also Benjamin and Levi. We have been mixed in that multitude as well, that built up America for free. All right, and actually made of America most of the most important inventions in the last 200 years, including the internet. The innovation behind them was behind so-called Negroes, but they would never tell you that, even though the facts could prove it for anyone who wants to challenge it. You only find out that Esau put his name, and they made a big stink out of what's the guy, Steve Jobs. But there were Israelite men, so-called Negroes, who did far bigger and more important things than him. But yet men like him get the credit. Right? But nevertheless, they were together then. But it wasn't this time. This time the prophecies are being fulfilled and the curses are being transferred from the sons of Jacob to Esau and the other heathens. They're starting to feel it, man. All right? The first scripture I'm going to read is Amos 3:3, and it reads, "Can two walk together except they be agreed?" And these Edomites, they're not walking together. They're not in agreement with one another. Okay? Matthew 12:25, and it reads, "And Yahushua knew their thoughts, and he said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand." All right? And that's exactly what's happening. You're watching the fall of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Because they're all divided and they're against each other. Not to mention a ton of other things. Their numbers are being brought low. Their past replacement levels. It's not enough for them to replace themselves as a race. So which means that they're, even if, like I said, it's foolish to say this, but even if you took the Bible, the Lord, out of the equation, it's over for them. There's not enough of them alive to make enough babies to keep them going. They're done. They're done. Their birth rates are down in every state in America and around the world. It's not just here in America. And what did that? Mainly feminism. Okay? These pushing the woman into the workplace and out of the home, and and come with this family court law and all that stuff. That is the reason why their numbers are down so much, because Edomite men are not making babies with Edomite women. They're too afraid of getting caught up in that court system and getting child support and alimony, and their lives ruined and destroyed as a result of it, because that system is 98% for the women and against the men. And then they push this feminism and I can do what a man do mentality, and they put off having children and don't want to have children. I got a woman now, a client that's been with me for 20 years. and she's 40 years old now, and over 40, and she's about to have a surrogate baby because she couldn't get pregnant to get a man. But she chased after becoming this powerful attorney, you know, with this big name all on TV and stuff like that. But she couldn't keep a man. I've been listening to her man problems for the last 15 years. Right? And she's got plenty of money. But, you know, these women have unrealistic ideas of what a man is like. And then if a man is too manly, they don't want to be with him. Back to the lesson at hand. This is Mark 3, and I'm going to start at verse 23, and it reads, "And he called them unto him, and said unto them in parables, How can Satan cast out Satan? Right? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand." Right? And a house is talking about a race of people. And what's the race of people that rule over and have ruled over America? Edomites, whether they be Jewish Edomites or Christian Edomites. Okay, that are in bed together. With the Jewish being the tribe of Amalek, those Amalekites. All right, they truly run the show. All right, like Brother Nathaniel, you know, the comedic Christian with his channel. You know, he calls it Jew-America, and he grew up Jewish. Brother Nathaniel, another guy who gives out really pertinent and very, very important information on his broadcast, and he's kind of funny and entertaining to watch too. I claim that dude is my court jester on the side, Yahweh Ratazah. But let's play a little bit more of the video.
Daily basis, every single day, and not let them get away with anything. Ever. They tried to win this in the arena of public opinion, and they were beaten badly because it didn't manifest itself. The lie that they wanted to create didn't manifest itself. That thing Joseph Goebbels said was totally blasted out of the water about if you tell a lie enough times it becomes the truth. Not in this case.
But that case has that has been Esau's MO. His histories have been told. His history is a lie. You know, like the big argument over the Vikings and the Christians and all that. When people begin to hear that these people were people of color, they lose it. Why? Because they've been taught and force-fed the lie. You know, the whole shaved side of the head, blue tattoos, blonde hair, blue eye, being the Viking, you know, being the first Christians and all that other mess. They've been force-fed that lie for so long. When they hear the truth is stranger than fiction. Even though the evidence and the proof supports, you know, the truth that they were not pale people.
Because every time they tell a lie, we're going to tell 3 truths.
We're flooding the internet with the truth, with the history. Backed up by relics, backed up by scholars in history, and just because this information is coming from scholars that they swept under the rug. See, Esau wants to control the narrative. You know, he gives you a multiple test quiz, but he chose the answers. You know, he's using A, B, C or A, B, C, and D. He puts the choices on there. And there's more information and more answers, but that's controlling the narrative. And that's what's happening here. They've lost control over the narrative. That's why guys like this, the Florida Marquis, can put out information like this video. You won't see this information that he's sharing on CNN, Fox, ABC, NBC, the major networks. You're not going to see it.
And we're going to do it every single day. And I'm proud to stand with you in this effort.
And he's a little angry too.
The legacy of what happened yesterday is going to be what we saw. From the Colombians, heaving rocks over and over and over again at some of the most professional security forces I've ever seen, standing their ground and not overreacting. And real quick, who remembers this? Who remembers only a few months back that our leader said that if our military or our border patrol was to come under attack with rocks, they were to treat it like rifles? So what's good for the goose, good for the gander. They had to turn, tuck tail, and run and set fires to make you think that it was the Venezuelans who set the trucks on fire. There would have been no way to do that. Clearly, it was the Colombians. You saw it if you saw my videos from yesterday.
So Esau is sowing division, and then he's putting it on the news, as something else, talking about all the chaos which is being created in Venezuela when he's the one that's behind it. And all this was about was the Venezuelans did not want anything or any help from the Americans, and they told them that don't bring it. And so they brought it in through Colombia and tried to bring it across the border, and they blocked the borders, and that's where all the stuff. So basically, America was invading, call themselves bringing effort, but they were actually invading. Because they're not bringing stuff for the people, they're bringing stuff for the troops that they want to send over there, and for whatever insurgents that they have there. That's who that food and all those weapons, all those weapons that got caught coming in last week. So Esau is just being exposed, man, and they're divided. This is Luke 12:52, and it reads, "For from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. The father shall be divided against the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law." So it's not only, because that's really talking about this truth. Because when the truth comes out in the Bible, that's what happens to your household. Because you got, Jake who's drank the Kool-Aid and believe that God loves everybody when the Bible clearly doesn't say that. And then you're going to have people, Israelites that say, no, the Bible says only Israel. And that division is really talking about that. But on another scale, the curses are falling upon Esau. So you got the Democrats versus the leftists, and the leftists versus the right, and the Republicans against the Democrats, and all these different parties. The heterosexuals versus the LBGT, the Christians versus the Jews. It's just madness. The Christians with the Jews against somebody else. It's just and then that politics is all in disarray. If you could just take a step back and take a look at Chicago politics and the mayoral run and everything that's going on between the mayor's office to the governor's offices, it's just nothing but crookedness, and they're all against each other. America is totally divided, and it cannot and will not stand. All right, civil war riots, race riots, food riots, all that is going to come, and it is going to come soon. All right, America's being plagued with all kind of crazy weather. The curses are clearly upon Babylon. So with that, I hope this was edifying and inspiring lesson. Call halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Abashai Ba'Shem Rakakadash Wa Abba Babal.